This coverage is brought to you by Rami Rent.
Hello and welcome, disc golf fans, to the conclusion of the inaugural European Pro Tour. We are at the AllStars event in Mijas, Spain. I am your host today, Nate Perkins, the Perks of Disc Golf. I'd like to thank the European Pro Tour for the opportunity to be a part of this post-production all year long. We've got Keiti Tätte out of Estonia. She's had her ups and downs this year, but she has found her groove as of late. A couple top 10s on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We've got Jenni Karppinen out of Finland. Elina Rydberg representing Clash Discs. And we've got Rachel Turton. She finds herself on this feature card at the AllStars event after taking down the very first European Pro Tour back in Copenhagen. And we're getting right into it. Hole 1's a par 3, 79 meters. Plays a little more uphill than you can really tell on camera. But you'd really like to give yourself a look at this one out the gate.
First on the tee, Rachel Turton.
And that is one way to start. You can see it's a little awkward of an angle with these bushes being right in front of you. And Rachel is actually an ultimate frisbee player turned disc golfer. She just joined the PDGA in 2020. And she won her first big event this year in Denmark. She did quite a bit of traveling. She traveled to Finland, Norway. She actually made it all the way to the United States for the Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship. And she finds herself in Spain in November. Really cool deal for all of these players getting to travel to one of the warmest places in Europe this time of year for this final showcase event of this season. Keiti is no stranger to coverage. She has been traveling extensively this season with her good friends Kristen Tatar and Silver Lot. She cashed for nearly $8,000 on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. She definitely had her ups and downs. I feel like nerves have still been a big issue in her game. But she had some really impressive tournaments. She tied Paige Pierce for 14th place at the United States Women's Disc Golf Championship, casting for $1,250. And she took 8th at the European Open. As we watch Rachel card a very impressive opening birdie. And if you guys remember, we watched Keiti and Heidi battle it out in Estonia at the European Pro Tour there, where she ended up taking second. Go check out that coverage. All right, moving up the hill into the views. It's a par 3, 81 meters. This one's slightly downhill, elevated bucket, road, less than 10 meters behind the basket here. And you can see just how dry this part of Spain is. And here we're going to see some of Rachel's ultimate style kind of showing itself here with this forehand technique. And back-to-back holes within the circle. She's got to be feeling pretty good about that start. And Jenni from Zhongzhou with that classic Finnish standstill approach. You know, I was actually chatting with Seppo Paju about that, and he believes that it's actually because of Jussi Maresma that many of these Finnish players opt to go with that standstill. He was one of the first pioneers of the standstill over in Europe. And Elina kind of getting over on top of that one again. Ooh, pretty tricky approach, but well played. Oh no, that rolled all the way out of bounds? That's brutal. And Rachel smartly lays that one up. So I believe to qualify for this All-Stars event here in Spain, you had to place first, second, or third at any of the EPT events throughout the season. Jenni did so at the Turku Open, where she placed second. And the views just don't stop. Here we are, hole number 3. 142 meters, quite the pump over this little valley up on this mound. Another hole with rollaway potential. See what kind of distance Rachel can display for us. A little nose up. A nose angle is just so important when you're throwing for distance. I mean, you can get the speed right. I mean, you can absolutely unleash on one. But if you get that nose angle wrong, it is not going to go as far. It's why players such as Simon Lizotte, are so consistently able to throw further than other players, it's not necessarily the speed or the spin, which you need to have that. But most importantly for those distance shot, it's the angle. It's that nose angle. Takes a special player to be able to get the disc up in the air and the nose angle down. Decent release from Keiti. And you can see that this hole is definitely playing more like a par 4 for the FPO division. It's just so exposed, so difficult to get that angle correct. And once you're down here in this little valley, it's actually a pretty tough approach. You're going back up this hill, throwing back up into a little bit of wind. You can see she got that nose angle up and it just kind of stalled out on her, and she's deep in circle 2 now. And good release right there, but you can see the wind kind of pushed that one off, and she's going to have a tester, and this is what Jenni is left with. And Elina is actually from Kristinehamn, Sweden. She qualified for this All-Stars event at the Tuni Open. That is Natural Born Disc Golfers' flagship event in Sipoo, Finland, at the historic Sea Bay Disc Golf Course. Actually had the pleasure of competing in that one this year. All right, hole 4. It's a par 4. 232, dog leg to the right. I'm going to play up this little valley as much as possible. It's actually not the worst if you get outside of the valley, as long as you're on top with footing. It's just with the course here at Mijas, you just don't ever know what type of footing you're going to get. There's all these little bushes that can really affect your shot. Even a good shot can just land in a bush and you can really have no run up. There's all these rocks that kind of make the run ups difficult as well. See if Keiti can find her rhythm off the tee after a pretty rough start. And she kind of pulled that one. Oh, we got the sunbrellas out here in Spain. And what a cool deal for these players to be able to be here this time of year. Okay, and Rachel's in a pretty good spot. She's looking right down this little valley. Jenni had herself some good battles in Finland. She couldn't quite get a win this season, but she was sure close battling with one of Finland's best, Heidi Laine. The very first Prodigy Disc Pro Tour in Helsinki, she took second there to Heidi by just one stroke. There is a lot of young talent in Europe. I have no doubts that the FPO division is growing exponentially. Cannot wait to see how some of these players improve for the European Pro Tour in 2023. Circle's edge there for Jenni. It's a really common thing in Europe for the FPO division to play the exact same course layout as the MPO division. I just want to ask you guys, what do you think about that? I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think that the FPO should be playing a different course? Different tee pads, basket locations, or do you think that they should get a crack at the same exact course that the MPO field plays? Love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Strong putt there from Keiti. It is for double bogey, but nonetheless, confident stroke. And nice putt from Elina.
Having my own line of discs, all named after sound design terms, is a dream come true for me. I'm just so thankful for Prodigy for believing in me and giving me this opportunity to have a couple amazing discs under my name that I can trust.
All right, hole 5, another lengthy par 3 here. It's 131 meters. This one's slightly uphill, I would say, and you can see pretty obstructed as you approach the green. This FPO division is likely going to try and get one up on the hill so that they can then throw through that gap rather than trying to get through that gap in one. Oh, and Rachel hates it. Really got on top of that one. Sharp anhyzer. Oh, Lina opting for the forehand here. The European Pro Tour is returning to Copenhagen, Denmark, for the first event of 2023, May 5th through the 7th. Wow, great angle from Keiti. Huge tee shot right there. Very impressive angle. And that is phenomenal scramble work right there from Rachel Turton. She's going to have a look for par after that errant tee shot. It's those trees right there that kind of make this Mijas course difficult. All these little subtle undulations in the hills, these very thick trees and bushes. It's hard to get the wind read, and it's hard to know what the ground play is going to be like, if you're going to get any ground play at all, if you're just going to grab a shrub and stop. Oh. And we're down here in the desert, so there's definitely some plants that are out to get you. Oh no, and that's exactly what I mean. Those shrubs are just relentless. The iron shrub, as Ken Climo and Greg Barsby would call it. All right, solid putt from Jenni. looks like Rachel did miss that look for par. Carding a single bogey, not too bad considering that first drive. And decent par from Keiti after really nice looking drive. Hole 6, another lengthy par 3 coming in at 129 meters. This one is also playing slightly uphill. There is a retainer wall just behind this basket. It's common to see some graffiti art on this wall. This is just another huge shot, and I believe most of this division, if not all of it, is going to be playing for a 3 here. Looks like we have a slight headwind today as well. Let's see if Rachel can't correct on that last tee shot. Let's see if she is going to switch up the disc. It's going D1 here. Oh, and absolutely corrects on that angle. I'd say her best backhand release of the day. Exactly where she wanted to put that one, right on the road leading up to the pin. Love that. Both Elina and Jenni representing Clash discs. Up and coming brand out of Finland. They're producing plastic in the location where the Nokia cases used to be produced in eastern Finland. They've got some plastic experts over there in-house, and they are growing really fast. Really cool to see the boom of disc golf allowing so many different people to be supported by this game full time. Oh, and Keiti finds herself a little pocket. Very well thrown. Gets a little kick off that retainer wall. She's going to be really happy with that. Fortunate little roll out there. Philo Brathwaite would call that a knurl. He has come up with a few of his own words for disc golf commentary as of late. And Rachel just smashed that one up the hill and has an easy little pitch up to card her par. This is kind of one of the few spots on the course that the basket isn't really exposed. You kind of get blocked with this big retainer wall here. There's a little bit less wind on the putt usually. This course is just known for having really exposed baskets. You have all different types of putts, uphill, downhill, and every single type of wind that you could imagine. And Rachel does sneak that one in for her par. Pars are playing out here. This is a tough track when the wind picks up. All right, hole 7, par 3, 104 meters. This one is a little more attackable here, slightly downhill. But you can see another very exposed basket with rollaway potential, and you do not, if you're throwing the right hand backhand, you really don't want to hyzer this one out. You will just head down the hill. I'd like to thank our whole partner, Dynamic Discs. So many great partners this season to allow the European Pro Tour to thrive. And what a shot from Keiti Tätte. That's going to get her on the board, and you can see the smile. I mean, just a laser right into the hill. Skips off and in the bullseye. And Rachel going D1 forehand here. This would be very impressive. Over 100 meters. Yeah, decent shot there. I think she would like to flatten that one out for just a moment. She kind of released it all hyzer. All right, and let's see how Elina's forehand compares. Ooh, good angle. I mean, just a little high out of the hand, but really impressive pace on that forehand right there from Elina. And Jenni actually looks like she's going either mid or it kind of looks like a putter here. A lot of things right with that shot, just a little low, nearly identical to Keiti's, just trajectory too low. All right, Elina with the death putt here. She is considering laying this one up upside down. Pretty good view here of the terrain out here in Mijas. Oh, and that one looked like it was picking up and rolling and caught that shrub right there. Saved her this time. She's up and in for the par. We're going to go one down on the 7th here. European Pro Tour brought to you by Prodigy Discs. Coverage brought to you by Rami Rent. Natural Born Disc Golfer. These guys are working hard. Hit that like button. Give us a subscribe. Leave us a comment. right, hole number 8, brought to you by Disc Counter. It's a par 3, 113 meters. This one is playing slightly back up the hill. Again, we've got a theme here, guys. Baskets on the terraced hillsides. Tons of rollaway potential. And again, not a bad release, but just that nose angle is so important. You get that nose up, you're just going to stall it. Decent release there from Elina. The sun is certainly out here. Quite a bit different than Estonia, Sweden, or Finland at this point in November. Oh, and Keiti kind of using that tree as a backstop there. It's always unfortunate to miss high when you're putting on an elevated basket. You put the putt out there, you committed. Never is fun to miss low. And that is a committed putt that just did not want to stick. She hits high center pole and it just falls right back out at her. And this is certainly the most difficult part of Mijas, is the variety of putts that you have to attempt. And she makes the correction. Can't lie, those putts always make me nervous no matter the distance. Partially because I never try the turbo lob putt myself. And hole number 9 brought to you by Excel Discs. This is the most attackable hole here on the front, coming in at 78 meters. Again, playing slightly uphill, rollaway potential, of course, on this one. And if you guys are still with me, I'd just like to thank you for tuning in and supporting women's disc golf in Europe. This is the European Pro Tour AllStars event in Mijas, Spain. Players had to qualify for this tournament by placing first, second, or third at one of the 6 European Pro Tour stops in 2022. All European Pro Tours were streamed live on Disc Golf Stream. Go check out EPT Disc Golf Stream Suomi, as well as the English version. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want more disc golf content in your life. European Pro Tour is hitting it again next season. They've got 7 scheduled events. We're going Denmark, Belgium, Estonia, Finland, Sweden, and finishing up with the All-Stars event in Spain. Get through. Oh, what a rip right there from Jenni. And she's just had a tough go at it. She's throwing some committed shots, but just having some trouble with the approaches and on the putting green. Pretty epic look right there at Rachel's focus. She is going to be leading after this first 9. Her and Keiti, the only players to card a birdie. And good par save from Jenni. Keiti probably not too happy that this one rolled to where it did. I mean, these putts, while they might look short, they're testers, you know. And every putt you look at is different. Every putt has different wind, and there's not a lot of flat putts out here. So even that, you know, what is that? We'll call it 4 meters, 5 meters. That's a good putt. And good par from Rachel, representing Prodigy Disc. She's going to be 3 over through 9 holes. followed by Keiti at 5, Elina at 7, Jenni at 8. Thank you guys for tuning in to this coverage from the EPT All-Star event in Mijas, Spain. I am your host, Nate Perkins. Check me out, the Perks of Disc Golf on Instagram and YouTube. It's a pleasure to be working for the European Pro Tour. See you guys for the back nine.